reading the Iliad, and the Iliad in general, is like playing Risk with your little brother, but your little brother keeps on cheating at the game, and you keep on cheating at the game, and eventually, both of you steal each other's wives from each other, kidnap them. You get into a fist fight, and then at the end of the day, you both come running back to your mom, being super upset that you stubbed your pinky toe in the fist fight. That's what reading the Iliad is kind of like. And I don't know how I feel about it. I listened to all of it. I got to this point where I realized I had a very hard time listening to it. I needed like 3 different videos having to explain to me what was going on so I could get it. And it's not even because my mind isn't exactly like attuned to, say, like the lyrical way the poem was written, because it wasn't written as lyrically as Virgil's Aeneid or Ovid's Metamorphoses, which I looked at. I haven't finished with either of those. That's what's coming next. I think I'm gonna return to the biblical epics sooner than later, actually, because these are quite long and they've given me quite enough of a break. The next video is probably gonna be Kings. I will say that. But yeah, I had a hard time knowing what was going on, and I think that really took away from my experience. I think I wish Odysseus did more things in this. Because in my mind, it's just the prequel to the Odyssey, right? So I thought, okay, it's still gonna have a bunch of the same stuff about it, but it doesn't. It doesn't really. It really doesn't. So I was a bit disappointed there. It was about Achilles, but you don't get the story of like Achilles like hitting like Achilles tendon and then breaking. It doesn't have the story of the Trojan horse. That shocked me. I was wondering, I'm like, when is the Trojan horse going to come to play? It doesn't. It doesn't have that. It is only the war in Troy and whatever. It is like 10 years long. By the time we get to this story, we're in the 9th year. So I'm really just don't know what to say about it. Also, what I will say is I think it is a bit overblown with the amount of I would say named characters they would have in play, because, and especially for, this is a small nitpick, especially with how many of them have a name starting with the letter A. Like I have a bit of ADHD and like dyslexia, so like I need things to be kind of like ordered. There's a modern tip in book writing nowadays that you don't have, like, every character you do has a name that starts with a different letter of the alphabet, so they can better like organize it in their head, or just don't do people of the same name. But in the Iliad, you have let me just go through this whole list: Nestor, Priam, Ajax, Iris, Menelaus, Hector, Odysseus, Zeus, Paris, Aphrodite, Helen, Achilles, Apollo, Agamemnon, Athena, Bistles, Hera. I don't remember that guy. Aeneas, Ares. There's so many guys in here, and I think I had a longer list of characters somewhere else. But I don't know. I really don't know about this. And then let's see. What am I else? Yeah, and with that many characters, I felt like it all had a big lack of focus, really. I do like a bit more focus in my stories. I like knowing, okay, this is our characters, this is what they're dealing with. Which I think in certain epics like this, I'm going to get a little, okay, alright, because... And I think especially, it was a bunch of characters happening at the same time. I don't mind in Genesis how many characters they have, because Adam is out of the picture by the time Abraham rolls around. And that's fine, but all those characters throughout the entire runtime of the novel are all doing things, and it stresses me out. I feel like I feel like it was demanding a lot from me, and I probably didn't give it enough of myself than I should have, but that's just what happened. So I do think someday this might need a revisit. But yeah, I don't know. So you might be wondering the current grade I've given it. The current grade I've given it a big C minus. I think that's what's appropriate. And that's just my interpretation of it. I would say it's a C tier. I think Homer kind of does a lot better when he focuses his story a bit more. And the development of like Odysseus and stuff. I don't know. I like the Odyssey a lot. I like the Odyssey a lot. And because I think this isn't like a standard like hero's journey story and it's a war story. And I haven't been a fan of war stories a lot. I'm not a huge fan of that. So that makes sense why I wasn't a huge fan of this, but I guess this is a shorter video today, guys, but that's gonna be a C minus. I'll decide whether I'm going back to King's, Ovid, or Virgil later, but tell me if you guys like the glasses. Tell me if you guys want me to go back to the more douchier content where I'm drinking beers and stuff. But I don't know. I'm liking just being myself a bit more. I feel like I get to be more open. I feel like I get to be a lot more honest about what I'm what I really think. And that was the original point of this channel. And the point of this channel is to get me reading more. It's definitely been doing that. But yeah, that's the Iliad. I give it a C minus. All right, thank you for watching. I'll probably make another video either tomorrow, either tomorrow, the next day, or the day after that. It all kind of depends on what I choose. I'll do another story post or maybe another shorts post about what I choose to listen to next or read next. If you guys would like this, I don't know how much of you would actually look at my shorts, but a lot of these, they go book by book, right? They'll have the Iliad, it was made up of 24 say like smaller books and like chapters. I thought about while I was reading the Iliad, maybe I should make shorts for each of these smaller sections of the story, just to get my thoughts out. Maybe that would make me able to give you guys some more content more slowly before I do a big video like this, and then I can look back on what I say and further reflect on like the beginning of a story. Well, okay, hang on. One thing I will say that I did like, I'm glad I started yapping. I liked the beginning of the Iliad a lot more than I liked the ending. I will say. I think war stories can tend to get really messy, and then that messiness gets sometimes, or maybe I'm weird this way. I think some war stories get really messy towards the end, and people confuse that for just like a bunch of things happening for it being like a good climax, and that's not necessarily. I don't think that's necessarily the same thing. So I feel like it falls into that trap a little bit. Yeah, C minus. What did I give Gilgamesh? Did I give Gilgamesh a B? No, I'm gonna keep it where I keep it. So yeah, maybe it will be smart at the end of the month that we do like a tier list of all the ones I rank. That could be quite fun. Yeah. All right. Iliad's done. I hope you guys enjoyed this sort of quicker video. I will see you in a couple days or so, I guess. Bye.